Hi all, throwaway because both she and I lurk Reddit. I, 23 meters, have been with C, 23F, for 4 years. We got together during our freshman year of college. We became very close and we both held similar beliefs and wanted similar things out of life. We moved in with each other and grew really close, almost inseparable, during the pandemic. I wanted to marry this woman, until last night. C has been under more stress from work and family during the last few months. Her dad has cancer and it hasn't been easy on her. She's been drinking more and more, and while I don't mind her drinking, it's how she gets when she's drunk is where I begin to have issues. She has a tendency to get pretty mean and say some awful things, talking about my appearance or how small my member is. She makes me feel like I'm not enough for her sexually or emotionally. She is almost always apologetic the next morning, and will spend the next few days after that trying to fix things but will turn around and do it again when she drinks. It really came to a head last night when I took her and her friend out to a local bar that's popular. I volunteered to be their DD for the night. She's driven drunk before and I didn't want her to make that choice again. I told her that I didn't want her to drink too much tonight, and she agreed that she wouldn't. The bar was packed when we got there, so we all went and sat at the bar and ordered some food and drinks. They were enjoying themselves and I watched the game while they drank and enjoyed themselves. I got up and went to the bathroom, and when I came back, I noticed my girlfriend was getting loud and her friend screamed cock sleeve while laughing. She then said, as I walked up and was in earshot, that her ex was the biggest she had and she missed it. I pretended not to hear it, because I knew she was getting drunk. I touched her back and sat down at the bar again, before the guy sitting at the table grabs both our attention and asks us if I was the cock sleeve guy, and I immediately felt like I was gonna be sick. These guys are laughing at me and I asked C if she was serious. She kept laughing. So I just grabbed my keys and walked out. I left both her and her friend there at the bar and I drove home. I immediately packed up my essential stuff and I went to stay with a close friend for a few days. I didn't get any texts from C until about an hour after I left them there, asking where I was. I then got a bunch of missed calls and texts that weren't anything but angry. I answered one call and she was still slurring her words and I heard she was in the bar still, so I hung up and turned off my ringer. I woke up to a stream of apology texts and more missed phone calls. She apologized and said she fucked up and was wondering when I was coming home, that I satisfy her and that I'm more than enough for her, that she'll make this right if I come home. I'm just done. I feel humiliated and embarrassed. Her and I had what I thought was a good sexual relationship. We did foreplay and used toys, but I've never once not gone out of my way to pleasure her or get her off. I'm not the biggest guy down there, so, yeah, I use a sleeve to help her get off too. I just didn't think she would use that against me like that. I don't want to go back home. I love her but I feel really humiliated and like she doesn't respect me as a man or partner. Wibda if I broke up with her over this? She's been a perfect partner, otherwise. I just feel like she didn't respect me at all, and after what she said about her ex, I can't help but suspect things. Edit 1. I'm going to text C back and tell her that I'll be there tomorrow to talk and get the rest of my things. My supportive friend said I don't have to worry about a place to stay for right now. She's always been one of my closest friends, so it feels good to have some support right now. Thank you everyone for your advice. I plan on ending things with C. My friend and her brother are going to go as well to make sure things don't go crazy. I don't know what C might do at this point. Update. Is it really wrong for me to break up with my GF because she humiliated me in front of her friends? I posted about my now ex-GF humiliating me at a packed bar, revealing to drunk strangers that I use a cock sleeve for her. I gotta say that I wasn't expecting the amount of support and advice all of you gave. It really helped me look at everything from an outside perspective and I realized how awful the relationship C and I had. Thank you everyone for your kind words. It really helped me find the strength to end things. Some of you are concerned that my friend, E, might be trying to take advantage of my situation and me. I can assure you that she's definitely not that way. I've known E since we were kids. But I understand where the concern was coming from. I didn't reveal this in the OG post, but E is also my ex, from when we were in HS. We dated for a year, but we broke up to remain friends, and she later came out to me that year. She's dated only women ever since then. Anyway, here's the update. I drove back to our apartment to get my stuff and my cat the next morning. E came with me. I told E to wait in the car and I would text her when I needed help with things. I walked in the apartment and C was sitting on the couch crying. She saw me and ran over to hug me. She immediately started apologizing. She said she was sorry and that she knew she messed up, that her friend told her what she said. I asked her if she cheated on me. She immediately said no and offered up access to everything of hers. I told her that's not what I wanted. She told me that she didn't mean what she said, that I'm more than enough for her and she only knows she said the thing about her ex because her friend told her. She said that definitely wasn't true, that she didn't miss him at all and I'm the man she wants to marry. I told her that how she humiliated me was something I just can't get over, that her addiction and how she treats me when she's intoxicated has decimated any romantic feelings I've had. She said she understood, and that she was sorry for everything. The pain in her voice, I knew she was remorseful. I told her that I needed to go NC for a while, that even though I still love her because we spent years together, with many positive memories, but that she needs help and I can't continue on like this. She was crying the entire time. I gave her a hug and I told her that I hope we can reconnect one day, but that she needs to work on herself and clean herself up for herself, and only her, not for anyone else. I texted E and I told C that E was letting me crash and that she's been supportive. C was surprisingly really calm and mature about this, but I can tell she was devastated. I felt really bad about it all. I told C that I'll pay the last 2 months rent on our lease, then it's on her to find a new place or to renew the lease herself. I know it's more than some of you think she deserves, but I still care about her. We spent years together and just a week ago I wanted to spend my life with her. E thought it was a good idea, in her words, so she knows even more what she lost in me. I don't mind, I already budgeted for it anyway. We got back to E's and I honestly felt free. I went to block C's number and I saw she sent me some texts, not trying to fight for me back, but just saying how I helped her and saying that she was sorry for everything. She said that she's going to take my advice and that she wishes the best for me. I did screenshot the text, but I deleted the message itself. E said that we should celebrate, and she made us some Bloody Marys, and her brother, who is one of my buddies, brought some beer over. We turned on some music and spent time drinking and talking about memories we had. He left and took an Uber home. E and I began to talk about more personal things. She was way drunker than me and she kissed me. I was into it for a few seconds before my brain took over for my other head and I pushed her away. I told her she's too drunk and she doesn't know what she's doing. I helped her get to bed and I crashed on the couch. I honestly felt bad. I didn't want her to feel like I rejected her, but also, I thought she wasn't into men. My drunk mind was processing so much stuff I barely slept. I woke up to my cat jumping on me and E was making bacon in the kitchen. Before I even opened my mouth, she said that she was sorry about last night, that she knew better and that she didn't mean to make me uncomfortable. I told her she didn't and that I only stopped it because she was drunk. I also asked why she kissed me if she was gay and wasn't into men. She started laughing and she said she's not gay, she said she's pan. I had to Google it, honestly. We kissed again in the kitchen and we went out to dinner that night. I paid for it to thank her and things actually got spicy when we got back that night. It was honestly the best I've felt in bed in a long time. It was a little awkward at first since she hasn't been with a guy in years, but it was amazing. I think she was just stroking my ego, but she said it was the best she's had in years with anyone. My confidence is through the roof right now. We're sitting here drinking beer. I'm typing this before giving her a back rub and she's playing Genshin Impact. I'm definitely an idiot, but we also definitely have a thing now. We agreed to just keep it quiet for a few months and she agreed. Thank you again everyone for your advice and your help. I definitely made the right call. I'll keep updating you all if anything interesting happens with C, but everything is smooth sailing right now with E and I. You all helped me more than you know. Now on to the other story. Story 2. I think my wife doesn't love me, and she might really be in love with her female best friend. I have been married with my wife for 7 years and we met 8 years ago in a church meeting and we became friends. My wife is a quiet, kind and beautiful woman, any man's dream, therefore it was obvious that I fell for her instantly, although she always behaved with what I thought was shyness, not wanting to cuddle with me or only kissing me on rare occasions. We both were raised in Christian families in a part of our country that is really religious, but unlike me, her parents were always the type who follows the holy doctrine really seriously, so she has a traditional way of thinking about religion and how women should behave, so I always thought that it was because of that her behavior is like that. Sometimes I think she looks like a robot. She's nice and kind with everyone, but a couple of times I saw her staying all quiet staring into space like if she was dead. Over the years I began to take it as something normal on her personality because she always refused to go to the psychologist and always said that she's just like that. Until 2 months ago when she found out that the woman who was her best friend in high school was coming back to the town. I never saw her so happy and alive. I felt happy for her, thinking that what she needed was a female friend. My wife never used to leave the house, but since that woman is staying in the town she has been going out as much possible. She became a different person, but not in a bad way. But she looks full of life, and to be honest I never saw her smile as much as when she tells me that she will go out with her friend for a coffee. For the record, I'm sure she's not sleeping with her because she doesn't know how to lie, and her behavior with me never changed. I'm not going to deny it, days ago I started to feel jealous of that woman, that she is the reason why my wife smiles so much and is on her phone all day. Out of pure curiosity 3 days ago I entered her FB and some albums were public. She had a lot of albums and I found pictures of her and my wife during high school. That woman was hugging my wife as if they were a couple. In some of the photos they were holding hands or looking at each other with bright smiles, which is something she never does with me. Her family hates gay people, although my wife never talked ill about them but just avoid talking about the topic, which now makes sense to me. I don't know whether to confront her because maybe I'm just thinking too much, or maybe she's in love with her ex-girlfriend. The only thing I'm sure of is that she only looks happy talking about that woman, so I don't know what to do. Edit. I'm sorry if I write something wrong. English is not my first language. Relevant comments where the op replies. Yet again a tree. Yes, she does love her friend, because she's her friend. All I saw in your post was a woman being excited that a close friend she hasn't seen in years is coming back, and that there was a picture of them hugging. I'm assuming all this paranoia is from your religious upbringing, cause all I'm seeing is 2 women are friends. If you should be asking anything, it's why didn't you see the clear loneliness your wife was feeling before this friend came back into her life? OP. I referred to the way they held hands especially because my wife and I never held hands. When we started dating, every time I tried she told me to not hug her or hold her hands because she doesn't like romantic things. I always respected her boundaries about that, so I did get confused when I saw her in pictures like that with another person. We do have a healthy relationship in feelings terms. When I notice she's off we talk, although she never wanted to see a psychologist, but she likes to talk about why she feels weird that day but always ends up saying that that's her personality. We have been always close friends since we meet, but it surprised me when I saw she actually likes being hugged by someone. Particular use 6913. I think that's pretty odd. Surely at some point your paths would cross, even if you weren't wondering. Does your wife give an explanation as to why the friend wouldn't care too? I don't know many people who wouldn't want to meet their best friend's significant other. OP. Same, that's why I feel it's odd my wife just says that her friend isn't interested in meeting me and closes the conversation. I feel that if I insist on asking the reason we would end up arguing, and I always prefer to avoid that. I know her friend left the town to live in the capital, and sometimes people become elitist after living there, but that wouldn't make sense since I lived half my life in the capital, and while my family is religious, I was never the strict religious type, so I don't get why her friend doesn't want to meet me. Update, November 9, 2023. Thanks for the advices in my previous post. Although I got few replies, everyone was very friendly. I decided to confront my wife and ask about the photos with her friend during high school. Everyone in the post said that they are most likely just friends and made my mind feel more in peace, thinking that I was overthinking, but when I showed her the photos she began to breathe fast in what I think was a panic attack. I helped her to calm, but then she got upset because I sneaked in her friend FB. I knew she was trying to change the subject because she loves to do that, so I got serious and told her to talk. After a few long minutes full of her trying to change the topic, she ended up telling me everything. Indeed, she and her friend used to be a couple during high school and friends since kindergarten. They kept the relationship as a secret, pretending to be only best friends until my wife's parents found out and beated her up, separating them. Her friend moved to the capital that year and they never saw each other again, but for what my wife said and showed, they never stopped loving each other. In some point of the conversation my wife stopped calling her friend by name, and without realizing she started calling her Mia more, which hurt me because in all years married she never called me like that. I asked her if she was cheating on me with her friend and said that they never kissed or anything, but I'm sure she's emotionally cheating me. She doesn't know what's that concept, so she really believes she's not doing anything wrong. The reason why her friend never wanted to meet me or even go to our wedding is because she hates to see her love married with a man she doesn't even like and living a lie. Ouch. I asked my wife if she loves me and said yes, but like a best friend. Yes, my own wife just friend-zoned me. She cried a lot, saying that she's really sorry for lying to me. When we meet we really clicked as friends, and she told me that her parents insisted her to marry me so she could heal. That explained why she never liked to hug, cuddle or do anything romantic with me. It wasn't because she was shy, but because she didn't like me. I wanted to lose my temper and yell at her. I wanted to cry and even run away because I was patient and empathetic with all the time she rejected my affection and I felt alone. I've even been thinking for years that maybe I'm a bad husband and I was treating her badly without realizing it. Feeling insecure about my own personality, but she assured me that I was never the problem. I didn't cry or yell. I just left the house and came to my sister's house. We didn't talk about divorce or anything like that. I even think my wife doesn't see any problem with what she did with her friend, but I'm sure that I don't want to spend all my life in a loveless marriage with a woman that will never love me back. I'm sorry for the long post. I'm just venting at this point, but I feel like I wasted all my youth. I didn't expect it to update so fast, but I needed to talk about that. It's not like I don't feel bad for her, I do, but now I feel even worse for myself. Relevant comments. Alpine, has she tried contacting you since you left? OP, no, not at all. But at least for today I don't want to talk with her neither. King Thunderflash, you need to divorce her and go completely NC. You deserve so much better than that toxic woman who has lied to your face for years. I'm sorry, OP, I'm sure that I will divorce her, although I still didn't tell her that because I want time alone. I feel empathy for her and always saw her as a kind woman, but the fact that she used me totally changed my perception of her. Thanks for your words. Final update, November 13, 2023. Maybe nobody remember my two first posts, but I wanted to at least post a final update because I'm really thankful for all the kind comments and advices I received. They're helping me a lot. I come back to my house the day after my last update and my ex-wife was there laying in the couch. The first thing I said when I entered was, we're going to divorce. Maybe that wasn't the best way of saying it, but she have the habit of changing the topic when I want to talk about serious things, so I didn't want her to do that this time. She clearly didn't expect that and started to cry and have an anxiety attack, saying that we can't divorce, that I can't do that to us. But what hit me harder was there's no point in us breaking up. The fact that I don't love you doesn't change anything, which is true. I realized that our relationship was always like that, her treating me just like a friend and me accepting that kind of trait. She said that she never cheated or anything like that, even if I explained again what's emotional cheating. I told her that she's not even attracted to man, so there's no sense in staying married because we're just not for each other, and asked her if she still loved that best friend, and she didn't deny it but kept insisting that we shouldn't divorce. I can understand why she was so desperate, but it made me feel used, like if I was her pathetic beard who she can always use as a shield for herself, or a dog who will always be happy with the smallest token of affection. I don't need her signature anyway to get a divorce, so even if she doesn't want to, we're 100% going to break up. I told her I'm not going to take her out of the closet, but if anyone asks I'll just say the truth, avoiding the sexuality topic because I don't want people gossiping and assuming things that didn't happen. The lands and basically all the things of the house are mine, and maybe I'm an asshole for this, but I told her that I will not give her anything because it's all mine and I inherited the land from my grandfather. At this point she just looked sad and defeated, so didn't complain or anything, although I will get advice from a lawyer to be sure. I told her that she can stay until December in the house, and she answered that she will probably have to come back to live with her parents, which actually made me feel bad because my ex-in-laws are not good people, but for what she said, she's still talking with her best friend, so luckily she's not alone. The conversation finished awkward with me just leaving. For now I'm staying at my sister's house. I can have time for myself since she and my other sisters are out of the province for a concert. I didn't talk with my ex-wife after that day, and she didn't try to contact me, but I know that she told my ex-in-laws about the divorce because they wanted to contact me to ask why we're divorcing, but I just answered that these are things that need to be resolved only between her and me. So this will be probably my last update because I will go NC with my ex-wife after the divorce. We don't have childrens. Sometimes she started talks about having a baby, and now I feel really relieved of always saying that I didn't felt ready. Maybe something in me was already telling me that she wasn't for me, so we don't have anything that tie us together. I have been going to the psychologist since I was a child, so I think that has helped me a lot to channel my emotions. Many in the comments said that I shouldn't have empathy or things like that for her, but we're both broken people that suffers from a religious trauma, and I know how bad that messed to people's mind and heart. Some people in the comments were confused about why I stayed with her when she clearly didn't love me romantically, but I don't know. Maybe I always justified her actions because somehow I felt identified with her. Maybe I have a hero complex, or maybe my sense of duty is too strong that I felt internally tied up with her and responsible of making her happy as her husband, even if she always rejected my romantic love. I don't know. That's something I will talk and work with my psychologist. Also, I received questions like why I married with her in the first place, and she was the one who said we should marry, and I was immature and young at that time, and because we got along well I thought it was a good idea. For now I just want a divorce and then spend time with my family. In general I feel numb and weird. I haven't cried yet, and in the session of yesterday my psychologist told me that he thinks I already grieved the relationship long time ago, even if I didn't realize it. I don't feel like I lost a wife, but like I lost a close and good friend and company. Not a heartbreak pain, but a betrayal pain. Anyways, I don't want anything to do with her anymore. Maybe I'm being a bad person for abandoning her knowing the type of life she had, but I can't save a person who doesn't want to be saved, and I'm tired of trying. For now I will just say goodbye, maybe not to a woman I saw as the love of my life, but to a woman who helped me and was a good friend for years. I'm really thankful about the kind comments people left, even some mean ones which make me think that maybe I'm too quiet with how I reacted. That's something wrong? I was never the temperamental type. I'm sorry if the update is a boring one and not about me starting my villain era, but that's not my style, haha. Thanks everyone.